Have you ever felt a shiver in an old forest, or noticed a perfect circle of mushrooms in a field and wondered if something magical was at play? For centuries, people all over the world have shared this feeling, attributing it to one of folklore's most enchanting figures, the fairy. These tiny, magical beings are said to live in hidden realms just beyond our sight and have sparked our imaginations for generations. Whether you see them as playful tricksters, protectors of nature, or symbols of pure wonder, fairies hold a special place in our collective imagination. So, today, let's pull back the veil and explore the enchanting world of fairies, from their mysterious origins to their lasting magic. The story of fairies begins long ago, woven into the ancient myths of Celtic, Norse, and Germanic cultures. In Celtic traditions, these beings, often called the fair folk, were powerful supernatural spirits tied to the earth. They lived in forests, rivers, and ancient hills. But where did they come from? Some legends whisper they were fallen angels, not evil enough for hell, but too impure for heaven. Others suggest they were ancient gods who lost their power but kept their magic. Or perhaps they were the spirits of those who had passed on, or even elemental beings who keep nature in balance. These complex and often contradictory origins are exactly what make fairies so captivating. There's no single, simple answer, just a tapestry of myth and mystery. One of the most curious things about fairies is how much they've changed in our minds over time. Today, we often picture them as tiny winged creatures fluttering about with a trail of sparkling dust, like Tinker Bell. But in early folklore, they were far from delicate. In medieval Ireland and Scotland, fairies were often described as human-sized, breathtakingly beautiful, but also incredibly dangerous. They were said to live in invisible kingdoms underground, in places known as fairy hills. These beings could bless you or curse you, all depending on how you treated them. This is where warnings like "never step into a fairy ring" come from. These circles of mushrooms were believed to be portals, created by fairies dancing at night. Anyone who stepped inside might be trapped in the fairy world forever, or return to our world to find that years or even centuries had passed in what felt like just a few hours. Their interactions with humans are just as varied. Many tales paint them as mischievous pranksters, delighting in stealing shiny objects or swapping human babies with their own fairy children, known as changelings. But they could also be incredibly kind. They were known to reward people who showed them respect or had a pure heart. In many rural traditions, it was common practice to leave offerings like a bowl of fresh milk or a piece of bread on the doorstep at night. It was a small gesture to appease the fairies and invite good fortune into the home. It shows a relationship built on a mix of fear, respect, and hope. What's truly amazing is how every culture has its own version of these magical beings. In England, you have the pixies, known for being cheerful helpers who also love to play harmless tricks. Travel to Scandinavia and you'll hear tales of elves or the Holderfolk, the hidden people who live in rocks and mountains, acting as guardians of nature. In Slavic folklore, beautiful water fairies called rusalki inhabit lakes and rivers. And in France, the elegant fees are powerful sorceresses who grant wishes and cast spells. This incredible diversity shows how the idea of fairies reflects each culture's unique values, fears, and deep connection to the natural world. Fairies have also left an indelible mark on the arts. During the Renaissance, they became a popular subject for poets and painters. William Shakespeare-esque. A Midsummer Night-esque dream brought us iconic characters like the mischievous Puck and the regal Oberon, forever changing how fairies were portrayed in literature. Then, in the 19th century, the Victorian era transformed them into symbols of innocence and fantasy, especially in children's stories. This is the era that gave us J.M. Barrie's Peter Pan and, of course, the world's most famous fairy, Tinker Bell. Even now, in our modern technological world, the fascination with fairies hasn't faded. They thrive in books, films, and festivals, reminding us of the power of creativity and our connection to nature. Many contemporary stories even reimagine fairies as fierce guardians of the environment, a powerful metaphor for our own responsibility to protect the planet. In the end, I think the enduring appeal of fairies lies in their duality. They are light and dark, kind and dangerous, familiar and utterly mysterious. They represent the unseen magic that could be hiding just around the corner or even within ourselves. Whether they truly exist or not, the legends of fairies encourage us to look at the world with a sense of wonder, to respect what we can't explain, and to believe, just for a moment, in the possibility of magic. Thanks so much for joining me on this magical journey today. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure into the world of folklore and myths. See you next time.